Ladies and gentlemen, we are live today. Super exciting day, especially for the veterans of this series. So, today is the book release of Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Influencer. My name is Hannah Leibus, and I'm one of the CEOs of She Rises Studios. And I am joined today with some of the co authors from the book. And this is book 6, the finale of Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. And I promised I wasn't going to cry, but this is truly an extraordinary day because in just less than 2 short years, we put out 6 books under this movement, under this series. And this last one has to do with everything of being an unstoppable influencer, but not the kind of influencer that most would think of. So it is our Light the Torch ceremony. There are 24 co-authors in this book, and I'm going to pass the torch to Nicole, and we're just going to keep it going and celebrate with us. And you can get your copy today on Amazon. All of us are in the process of sharing those links, so support your fellow authors. All right, Nicole.
Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. We are so excited to be able to bring the Becoming an Unstoppable Woman influencer book to you, for you to enjoy, because it is all about how are you showing up? How are you serving? Because as a woman influencer, it's really important that we focus on the key areas of influence, which is not just impact and really wanting to help build community and build relationships, but really serve with love and passion, support. So as you know, my name is Nicole Curtis. I'm part of the leadership team here at She Rises Studios. I'm currently in Rosebud, Missouri, and I am part of the Women Leadership Division at She Rises. And I am just super, super excited to share this screen with the lovely Hannah Leibus, as well as all of these amazing ladies. So with that, Stella, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Stella Tokar, and I'm in South Florida in the Fort Lauderdale area. And the name of my business is Bold Consulting and Coaching. I retired as a CEO of a Chamber of Commerce and started my own business, and the rest is history. So it's really a thrill to be a part of all this. I'm a neuro encoding specialist, so I infuse neuro thinking into everything I do as far as coaching and consulting. And it is powerful because every decision in life starts with a thought, right? How we think. So the chapter title for this book that I'm privileged to be a part of is Nothing More, Nothing Less. I'm a certified member of the John Maxwell leadership team. And in his leadership books, he says, leaders are driven by their influence, and it's nothing more, nothing less, but influence that makes a leader. So I based it off that quote from John Maxwell, and the focus is nothing more, nothing less. What is your it? I identify opportunities as my it. Seeking opportunity, how we do that, how we think about opportunity, and what we look for in that opportunity. And then I have 4 things that we need to consider that spell out the word care, CARE. So I hope you'll read it. I've been in the files, kind of reading through some of the other chapters, and there is some powerful stuff in this book. I think everyone's going to find something that they can relate to. So nothing more, nothing less. Influence has been a part of my life. I didn't know it as a young woman, as a teenager and a young woman, didn't have a clue what I was doing. But as I identified and grew as a leader, I found out that I am an influencer. And it doesn't take much. It started with my family. And I felt like that was the best place. Those are the people that I needed to influence. When I had children, I wanted to launch them successfully. So I started with my own tribe, so to speak. And as I got involved in their lives outside of the house, that's where influence really picked up. So nothing more, nothing less. I hope you'll find a nugget in there somewhere, and I know it will make an impact in some people's lives.
Thank you, Stella. All right, let's shoot it over. Who on this panel right now is this their first time publishing? First time author. All right, I knew it. All right, so I'm gonna pass the torch to Samantha first.
Good morning, ladies. I am so excited to be a part of this. Like, I literally got up and got ready in 20 minutes this morning. I shocked my kids before they went to school, and it's freezing. I'm in Pennsylvania, and it's freezing, so I'm all bundled up. But my name is Samantha Shepard. I am from York, Pennsylvania. I am a 20-year veteran entrepreneur, and I am a recently I'm a marketing consultant. You know, my job is to help make your marketing life easier so you can get back to what you're great at, which is growing your business. So being a part of this book has been such an honor and privilege, not only to get to know She Rises Studios and all of you incredible authors, but the opportunity to share that true, authentic connection, which is the name of my chapter. That's where true influence comes from. You know, it's not about having millions of followers. It's not about having lots of friends on Facebook. It's about authentically sharing who you are with other people to allow them to connect with you in a different world. You know, when I started my business journey, there was no social media. And many of you probably remember that because a lot of you have been on that journey for a while too. So seeing that center and influence come kind of full circle, we now have the opportunity as leaders, as entrepreneurs, as women, as men, whoever's watching this, we now have an opportunity to influence on a much bigger scale because we can utilize social media. And that's one of the things I love, not only helping my clients figure out, but with this book project, that's what I think becoming an unstoppable woman is being willing and having the bravery to share who we are, what we're passionate about, good days, bad days, and everything in between, to create that authentic connection with everybody we come in contact with. So I can't wait for you guys to all read this book. So definitely hop on Amazon today and grab it. Yeah, I'm going to drink more coffee because I've already had a lot, but I'm just so excited to be here and to be a part of this project. So cheers, ladies.
Woo-hoo! Cheers. All right, Kelly, congratulations to becoming a published author today too.
I was doing okay till you just said that.
It really is surreal.
Yeah, I mean, my son just left and he's like, "Oh, you're up." He's like, "Oh, congratulations, you're a published author." And Stella's up there, right? One of my biggest influencers in my life. So happy to see you. And Samantha, you just helped me with my media kit. And it is really surreal because it's something that I always wanted. You know, we all feel like we have that story. And then some days we feel like, well, what's our story about? It's not going to help anybody. You know, it's just one in a million and everybody's got it. And, you know, and then I always just kept growing through that, right? And talking myself back into knowing that, you know, we have influence in different ways. You know, I'm an Air Force veteran and I joined at 17 and, you know, that was many years ago, right? And so things were very different there. And I talk about that in my chapter, which is discover your passion to ignite your influence. And I think that that's something that a lot of people that know me, you know, just always feel like, you know, living that passion and being happy and lighting up the room and trying to be positive no matter what. And my closest friends know if they don't hear from me, it's because I'm hiding in my cave because I feel like if I can't bring a smile and be positive, then I don't want to infect the world. And a lot of times I do that by myself. And you know, that was something that I just had to learn, you know, to have a tribe like this. And it's okay to say when you're not okay and that you're going to just help others with that story. And then similar to Samantha, I've been able to be an entrepreneur and have my own basically insurance agency with Legal Shield for 25 years. And I just felt so blessed that I found my passion that led to more influence. And so that's really what my chapter is about. you know, a lot of people don't know. I mean, I grew up in foster care, never knew my dad, and, you know, so came from some adversity, but just kept pushing through. And the Air Force definitely expanded my life and impacted my life. And I love now being a veteran. And that's where I met Stella. And just, you know, never knowing that it would be more with women, right? Because in the military, and especially the time I was there, I had to kind of squash down, you know, being a woman, and we just wanted to be equal and help, you know, transition in where more women were in other places. So it took a while before I just more blossom into, okay, I can have a tribe of women, and that's a good thing, you know. And so I'm just so excited to find She Rises. I mean, Hannah, what you and your team, hi Nicole, I mean, you're amazing, everything that you do and share with us. So I'm just excited for where this could take me. I couldn't even sleep last night. I was thinking of so many like people in my network, and now that it's real, not that it hasn't been real since we wrote it, but now I'm thinking, wow, here and here and here and here, and Stella and I are in the same backyard with Dr. Shelby. So I'm so excited for some things that we could do together, and a lot of collaboration. So I know you're called, Samantha, come to Florida, right? We're all we'll warm up together, and we'll warm up down here. And I'm just, I guess all I can just think is I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Well, thank you. So we have some veterans, right, who have been through book 1 to book 6. How many are those? Olivia, are you not in the whole?
I'm 2 through 6. I missed 1 and it's killing me, but yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to pass the torch to you to share with us your journey of becoming an unstoppable woman influencer.
Well, thank you. And congratulations to all the ladies on this call and everyone who's yet to come on the call. This is a really, really amazing, amazing achievement. You should all be so very proud of yourselves. You know, I think the reality is that we all have the capability to be influencers. And I've noticed that keenly throughout my life, and especially when I became a mom, watching my little 2-year-old do pretty much everything I do, whether right or wrong, if it's my bad dance moves or, you know, how I talk to someone. And so noticing that exactly how I act, it does have an effect on the world. And I'm a business and marketing coach, and I work mainly with moms with businesses. And watching them have this realization as well of how they can actually create this ripple effect in the world, and not only affect their immediate families, their children, showing their children what's possible, but then touching the other women in their lives, and on and on and on and so forth. It's really been just an amazing experience. And yeah, I think whether you're a macro influencer with more than 100,000 followers, or you're just a mom sitting there with your son watching, you know, you are impacting the lives of those around you, and wield the power wisely, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. You never really know who's watching your journey, or who you're inspiring, or whose, you know, day you helped, you know. There's so many times, I just shared this with an author who isn't in the book, but she's in other books. I always go to her page because she's hilarious, and she just makes me laugh. Like, it's just an incredible thing when she's like, really, I never knew that. And I said, yeah, she's gotten me through some really tough days. So when we talk about influence, we're talking about, it's not the amount of likes that you have. It truly is, how are you influencing and impacting those around you in your community, your home, your friends, your family, your businesses, colleagues, like all of those different things. That's the influence. That's what we want to change. Especially with this book in 2023. I don't care if one person likes my stuff or 2 million. It's what I'm doing to change for the better and to impact for the better. So I think each one of you wrote such an incredible chapter in this book, and it really will show what a true influencer is. And with that said, I'm going to pass it to Pauline.
Great. Thanks, Hannah. I can, of course, relate to everything everybody has said, because I think one of the biggest things is being comfortable in that uncomfortable spot. And my business name, I'll introduce myself first, is Guided Journey Coaching and Consulting. And my background was dental. So I was in the dental field for 22 years. So even though I work with many different types of professionals, dental females, whether you're the dentist, the assistant, admin, whatever role you play in the office, you know what, I can understand and relate to where you've been. And why this book just called to me and I had to be part of it is I absolutely love the name, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. This is my second book, but the name, I was like, damn rights I am. You know, I had been pushed down for so long, and especially in the career that I chose, even though I was very, very passionate and I never realized how much of an influence I did have on my patients. You still feel pushed down. And it doesn't necessarily mean just by colleagues, but like, you know, people, family, friends, everybody who just, and then I'm definitely ADHD. So, you know, as a child, saying those things you're not supposed to, and, you know, family, friends always saying, you know, okay, quiet down, don't say that. So now I feel like I have verbal diarrhea and I'm saying it all. So it's like, you know what, I am unstoppable. And you know what, I am so proud to be part of this book. I really wish that the first books would have come into my realm sooner, because it's exactly what I've always stood for. As a child, I had to be resourceful. Similar to Kelly, I did not know my paternal side. I just discovered before Christmas through DNA testing who my father was. Yeah. And we can connect after. It's been life-changing. I finally feel whole, and it's been amazing. So this book means so much more to me because I'm part of it too, similar to, I can't remember if it was Samantha or who else was talking about it, but all of those people you don't think that you're reaching. And you are, in your tiny little way. As a child, learning how to be resourceful, being forced to be resourceful. I was in lots of, living in a small town. I'm from Howden, Manitoba, Canada. It's just a little bit south of Winnipeg, the main city. And luckily, I was able to feel comfortable walking everywhere. And we had groups, like community events, things like that. I never had parents with me. And because they were busy doing whatever they were doing. And it's not like they intended any harm on me, anything like that. And but the thing is, I was forced to be independent and resourceful. And so having done that, I was shocked as an adult, the people who I influenced. As 16 years old, I was leading 4-H groups. I'm not sure if you guys are aware what 4-H is, but you are? Okay, awesome. And I was leading the 4-H groups, like the whole community. And all of those women as parents already, and I had not even a twinkling of being a mother at that point. But all of these women who lacked the self-confidence to lead a group, I encouraged them to do that. And I didn't even realize it at the time because I was doing it from my heart, because it was special to me. It was something that I wanted to provide for them without even thinking. I didn't give it a second thought. So this book is that's why this book is so important to me, is because you don't realize who you're influencing, and you don't have to, as they said, have 1 million followers. If I have 5, I'm ecstatic, because you know what? People have come up to me later on in a hockey rink and thanked me for teaching them how to brush their teeth properly, because it totally changed their social dynamic in their high school and all the bullying. So that's why it's important to me. And my chapter is called Butterfly Effect Creates Ripples. As you're in that cocoon, developing who you are, not sure what you're going to come out as, but those tiny little bit of the butterfly that comes out and that little bit of wind underneath your wings. Is it Bette Midler that sings that song? And so that's what it means to me. Very excited to be here. I hope everybody enjoys the book.
Thank you for sharing. All right, let's pass this torch to Lauren. Hello, Dallin.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. I can't believe it's the 6th book already. Like, how did that happen? Like
Right.
that. Hi, my name is Lauren Weiss. I am the CEO and founder of PsychoAlign. I am privileged to be among some incredible women here today. So thank you for showing up and showing out for the world. Some of the new authors I get to meet, and I always love spending time with my veteran authors as well. I love this book because so many people, when they think of influence, it's already been talked about, right? Is that you think of like, oh, how many likes, how many views, like where am I on the algorithm, right?
Mhm.
Really, influence has such a much larger impact, and it really begins even just like I think it was Stella was mentioning. It starts in our thoughts, starts within our attitude, right? And it has that effect that Pauline was just saying, right? That ripple effect out into the world. And so I think it's just, an incredible way to come out as an unstoppable woman and redefine, take back, reclaim that word influence and what it really means. So my title chapter, sorry, it's really early out here. It's still dark. I'm in Wichita, Kansas, by the way. It starts with you, right? Because influence really starts with you. Now, my chapter kind of goes in a little bit of a different slant. Mine is how does your business make an impact in the community? And so I dive into how my specific job and work and business makes a contribution and impact in the community, and maybe some steps in how you can start doing that in your business as well. But again, thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited to be a part of, this She Rise Studios, the Unstoppable Women, hopefully the whole series. I'm with Olivia. I'm only 2 through 6, but I'm hoping that one day I can get in the whole series. So thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be here and go out and make an awesome impact today.
I always mute myself and I'm like, yeah. Well, the whole house heard the excitement. I'm excited because watching, like for those who've been in book 1 all the way through 6 means that you literally were with us in the trenches, especially book 3 through 6, because we had changed so much and it was like this growing pain and it hurt at the time. It stung a little, but here we are. So like for those who, and we are going to promote this as a 6-book series. So for those who are in all of them, I feel like the readers are really going to see like, wow, that's incredible. Like the impact that it made, we set out a goal, and I wish Adriana was here today. I know she worked really hard behind the scenes last night to make this happen. So this was her baby. There's actually a story behind this last book. And I remember the day she picked up the phone and she called and she was like, Mom, I have the title for the last book. I have this vision. And at that time we were so new, she's like, let's talk about influence. We can get some of the top influencers to contribute. But then as time went by, the type of influencers we were looking for were you ladies. We weren't looking for the ones who had the 1 million likes and who portrayed this perfect lifestyle on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else. We were looking for the relatable woman who could honestly share their journey. and how they have impacted others positively. So seeing it come to fruition and seeing her dream become a reality is really, truly incredible. And it only happened because each one of you said yes and trusted us with your story. So I want to say thank you to you for that. And then I'm going to pass the torch to Dr. Elizabeth Clement.
This is blowing my mind. And you'll hear why in just a minute. But I'm Dr. Elizabeth Clement. When I met Hannah, the first time I talked with Hannah, she asked me about being in this book, and I said, no, I don't do social media. I don't even like social media. Because immediately when you think influencer, you think social media influencer. And I'm like, no, I have a VA that does all that social media stuff. And I just go on there and do what I have to do. But she said, no, that's not what I'm talking about. And when she described it, I thought, oh, I like that, but I'm going to think about it. And then I jumped on right at the last minute. And I love, because I just loved the becoming an unstoppable woman. And I've had to do that in my life, is become an unstoppable woman, because semi truck and our truck and our camper and our other truck crashed into each other in the midst of construction and stopped me for 12 years, flat on my back, disabled and bedridden. And I had to figure out how to get out of that bed and be unstoppable. So I had to become an unstoppable woman, because I had a higher calling and a higher purpose to speak and to teach and to help women share their stories. And so I wasn't going to let that stop me. And I love the part about influencing, because we do influence people in everything that we do, whether it's a post on social media, whether it's our daily routine. When we get up and we go, if we work outside of our home and we go to work every day, people are watching. They're watching and they're looking and they're seeing what we do, and we do influence them. And my chapter is called The Power of Persuasion, which seems juxtaposition to influence, because persuasion is really, making someone come to your side and think the way you do and do what they want you to do. And influence is influencing someone and helping them to grow and be who they are meant to be, and just giving them a good influence. And I write in there about how my mother always persuaded me to be what she wanted to be, and how a lot of my adult life I fought with, is this what I want, or is this my mother's voice in my head telling me it's what she wanted? And which one did I want? I too grew up without a father and did not know who my father was. I think this might be a theme of this book. Did not find out who my father was until I was 50 years old through DNA. And so I think we need to have us a little gathering over on the side. I wrote your names down. I'm going to contact you guys. But that is another passion of mine. One day I want to put together a group of women that can come alongside and mentor younger teenagers and young women who have been through that, because you hear all the time on news and articles and things about the impact that not having a father in your life has on young men, but nobody ever talks about the impact it has on young women. And it leaves a hole in your heart, and there's no way to fill that, and there's no way to outgrow that and become a whole and complete woman, because you felt rejected, and like that man that was supposed to love you and raise you didn't care enough to stick around. And so I want to be able to set up a foundation where I have mentors, those of us who have been through it. We've survived. We've become unstoppable women. We've built ourselves because we were able to do it without them. And we've been able to come whole and to step into a life and a power that we didn't have to get from them. We were able to step into it and become it on our own and overcome it. And I want us to be the influencers on them, to tell them they can become unstoppable women. And it is not just them, because I don't know about you, but I heard that, oh, it's just you, it's just you, it's just you. So I went around for so many years not saying anything because I was ashamed, because I thought it was just me that didn't have a dad, or calling my stepdad dad just so nobody knew. And another influence, another persuasion of my mother. And so that's what my chapter is about. And my chapter is about storytelling, because I want women to leave their legacy. And that's what you're doing by writing these chapters and putting them in these books and standing on stages and speaking. You're leaving your legacy for the younger women that are coming along, for the teens now, and the younger girls who are coming along behind you. They're going to pick up these books and they're going to read them. And you're going to be able to influence them in a good, positive way. And you're leaving your legacy for them. This is the path that I've walked, and you can do it too. You can be an unstoppable woman. You can be an influencer in the right way, and you can help other young women. And I just want to pass that torch. I want us to pass that torch to the next person and the next person, so that we can see them grow up and be empowered and not go through the crap that we went through. If we can save them from some of that crap, that's what I want to do. So that's who I am. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Kleeman, and I'm a storytelling enthusiast. So my chapter is about a story.
Thank you for sharing. I guess it is the theme. I didn't have my dad either, but I think, and in my case, it was his choice. He just didn't want to be a dad. But I think that it gives women this strength that we never really knew we had. You're right. It's a void that's never filled, but you took it and you filled it in other ways. Right. By influencing others, because you understood what it felt like. So I could feel your pain when you were sharing it and with the other ladies. But think about this, the strength and the tenacity that you've built. And now you're passing that on to others who may not have a dad by choice or by loss. You know, there's so many reasons, but you're doing such incredible work. And even though it hurts, and you're right, it'll never be filled, you might be really helping someone else by sharing your story. So it's incredible. And the foundation sounds like an amazing project ahead that I'm sure many will support and be a part of. So
thank you. The desire of my heart is to build that foundation and help young girls not have to take as long to heal as I did, so that they can become unstoppable sooner.
Well, thank you. So we are joined with Heather Stokes Benton, who I am so proud of you, woman, for showing up and showing out. And I want you to share with the world who you are, what you do, and what made you the unstoppable influencer you are.
Hello, ladies. I just want to tell all of you, you're so amazing. Like, I am like Lauren and like Olivia. I've been here from book 2 to book 6. And each book has been so amazingly different, because we've had some of the consistent people, but then we've had some other just outstanding women that we've brought in to walk along this journey with us. And I'm so excited to have Elizabeth and Kelly and Stella here with us in this book, and Samantha. I mean, just some super strong, unbelievable women that we've found along the way, that we're so grateful to have you guys just to make this book just as amazing as the last ones. And this whole series is just, you can really just take this series, and what I'm so excited about, even though I'm not book 1, but we won't talk about that. Maybe like Lauren, we'll make it to but someone who really is just looking to change their lives and change other lives is going to be able to pick up the series and say, I want to be an unstoppable woman, and I want to know how to be an unstoppable entrepreneur. I want to know how to manage being a mompreneur. I want to know what to do with my finances. So, and then I telling them not to forget about health and wellness like we did last month, and then just saying, okay, now you've got this all under control. You're managing being an entrepreneur. You're managing being a mom. You've got your money in check. You got your health in check. Now you have to impact others, right? And that's what this book is going to show them. Like, how do you show up in a positive way? How do you impact others? And sometimes it's hard for us. Like today is a hard, crazy morning, as Hannah and Nicole very well know. But I was like, I will be there. Just give me a few. So sometimes it's hard, and a lot of times as women we underplay what we do. So I'm sure a lot of you here can attest to that. You know, someone will say, gosh, I don't know how you're keeping it all together. How do you do all the things that you do? I'm sure each one of us hear that all the time from other people, and then inside you're like, I'm a hot mess, I don't know what you're talking about. But on the outside it looks good, ladies, it looks good. So give yourself credit. So it's hard sometimes for us to pat ourselves on the back and say good job, even though we're doing amazing things. Because it just seems like every day, right? We're just going through our day, we're doing what we got to do, and we don't realize that we're influencing in our everyday lives. And so, like Elizabeth, I was nervous about this book when I initially signed on to do the series. I'm like, influencer, really? Like, just before the pandemic, I didn't even have Facebook, y'all. Like, seriously, I was not in social media whatsoever. And I remember Nicole telling me, like, Heather, it's not just about social media. It's like, how are you influencing, impacting people every day in your life? And so when I thought about that, I wanted to go so many thousand directions with the chapter. Like, I think I wrote this chapter several times. And then finally I kind of brought it back to my wheelhouse, you know, and that because I wanted to say so many different things that I couldn't really focus in. So I ended up coming back, and the title of my chapter is Influencing, Impacting Through Knowledge. You know, and financial focus and growth is my wheelhouse right now. But the reality is that hasn't always been my wheelhouse, right? So everyone sees me and they think, oh, she's the financial lady. Oh, she knows about money. But I didn't always know about money. Okay. I have always been a server. So, and the fact that my entire family serves in the community some way. In my family, you're either a firefighter, a nurse, a teacher, you're in the military, you're serving in some capacity. Like, that is the expectation in my family. And it's been that way for at least 4 or 5 generations. So when you're in my community, which we are 6th generation Floridians, which is like unheard of. Okay. Like, but when you're in my community, people know who you are, literally because of all of my cousins stuff still are doing these type of things. And I did it too. I was a social worker for 14 years. And on the front lines in the jail, I got to go home at night and at the courthouse, you know, and working at the Bake Rack receiving facility and, you know, doing Bake Racks and out on the mobile team, doing investigations later with the sheriff's office. So I did all these things. And each day, you know, you were influencing the community to try to be stronger and to try to be better, right? So I'm like, okay, I've influenced in that way. And then you think about the way you've influenced within your family and the way you influence your own children. So I talk about in the chapter about a lot about money, but I talk about legacy because just like we just mentioned, it's really about the imprint and the legacy that you can leave, right? What do you want your children to say or think about you when you are not here, and your grandchildren, right? What do you impact do you want to leave in your direct group, right? And understanding that that's within your control, right? You know, like Elizabeth was saying, we could go in our shells, we can make excuses, we could say this is why I do this or do that, or we can step out, like I know a lot of you want to do, and say that was then and this is now, and so what can I do from now? And so one of the biggest struggles that I feel women have is once we get out of our head, right? And once we make that decision, is we can make that decision. But another thing that's just ingrained generationally is the whole issue of wealth and money and finances. Unfortunately, I cannot believe how many women are still completely unaware of what their finances is. We've learned how to step out into the world and make money, right? We've learned how to take it by the reins and get that job what we want or start that business that we want, but we're still like oh gosh, what do I do with this? Right. Oh, I just give it to my husband and he figures it out. Or I give it to solicitor and he figures it out. Or I go spend it and buy all the stuff that I want to have, right? I have money to buy all the stuff I want to have. And then all of a sudden, eventually we say, oh no, what do I do? So if I can give anything at this point to the world, it's, giving them the idea of how can I manage my debt? How can I take control of my money? How can I make my money grow while I'm sleeping? Like if I could teach 20 people to know seriously how to make money while you're sleeping, I would totally feel accomplished. But in reality, I've already taught hundreds, if not thousands. And that doesn't really sink in all the time until I sit down and talk to and get my numbers for my podcast, or I sit down and someone calls me from a book that I wrote or sends me a message and it's like, you changed my life. And sometimes it's still surreal. Like, I don't know. I'm sure Hannah feels this sometimes. Sometimes you're still like, wait a minute, are they calling me about this? Like, I don't know how this really happened. I just keep putting one foot in front of the other and I keep getting up and I keep talking about this topic. And I keep hearing back that it's positive things. So I'm just going to keep going in this direction. So now I feel like I'm rambling. So please stop me.
That's okay. We can ramble because we still have 20 minutes.
Oh goodness. You're going to don't make me talk for the full 20 minutes. Let's share some of this wealth here.
It's funny when you were saying like you never know. I mean, it is surreal what we're talking about. And I think for me, and I keep saying this, I wish Adriana was here with us today. When it was 3 months ago yesterday that I had like this full, and I'm going to be very transparent because it's just, I don't really come with the filter. I don't know who I got that from. I'm not really sure, but it's a thing. I had this breakdown. I've been going through this journey of a blood cancer since 2017. I've been in and out of doctors, and I've gone through some of the most grueling procedures and treatments. And there were days when I just thought, is this the day? Am I going to make it? I watched my kids go through this roller coaster of emotions along with me. And 3 months ago, I went in for treatment and I felt this sense of anxiousness, panic, fear, everything that you could imagine happened that day. And my son, he was the one who took me, and I told him, I said, I don't think I could do this. I don't think I could do this. I don't know what to do. And he's like, just breathe. Just breathe. So I'm trying it and I'm looking around this room and all these people are there for the same reason. They're sick, they're struggling, coughing, because it's all different types of cancers. When you go into a treatment room, it's all different types of cancers that people are dealing with. And it hit me. I was the youngest one in the room besides my son. And I was like, this is like too much. And I just felt it coming. I felt it coming. They call me back. It wasn't any different than any other day of what I'd seen. But that day it was different for me because that was the day I stopped. Because you do stop. Something makes you stop. But what you choose to do is what makes you becoming again. So we did vitals. We did blood work because we have to do it every time before treatment. And as soon as that medical assistant left the room and said, I'll be right back with the doctor, I felt my heart just go, whoo, like the panic kicked in. I looked at my son. I said, I got to get out of here. I got to go. Today is not the day. And he's like, come on, Mom, let's go. And I didn't go back. And I sat and cried for a few days thinking, wow, I'm so weak. I can't believe I couldn't do that. And it took my son and somebody really close to me to say, Mom, you're not weak. You're not weak, but you had to stop. Even you, the unstoppable woman, had to stop. And, my husband said, make the choice. Are you going to get up again and keep going? Or are you just going to stay right here where you are? And at first, my choice was, of course, well, I'm going to stay right here where I am because I was too scared to go back and face what was coming next, you know. So I share a little combo of the two of She Rises and going through the different things, the journey, which led me really to where I am today, because I was looking for someone else who may be going through what I was going through. So I shared my story. Who knew 12 books later and 2 years later with an incredible company that I would meet hundreds of women who are unstoppable, who are always becoming, who are life changers, who have stood up above and gone beyond in so many ways. So I feel like there's always the messiness, there's a message, and the message is each one of you in this panel, but just across and inside the She Rises community, have given me the hope and the way to persevere even in the hardest of days. And a huge thank you to my daughter and my team of She Rises Studios, because to work with me on a daily basis requires a lot. And that's why they're both shaking their head, because it's no
We
easy.
love you. We would take the abuse every single day 100 times.
But it was because we had this dream, this vision, this goal to make this a reality for so many other women. We saw the need. The more that you each spoke out and shared your voice, the more that all the women within the community rose up to the occasion, the more women are becoming every day. And it's not just becoming an unstoppable woman isn't just that one moment. It's a lifestyle. Like it really, truly is. It doesn't mean that we don't stop or life doesn't smack us unexpectedly, because it does. But what it is what you do after. Do you get back up and keep going, or do you stop? And my message is don't stop. Keep going. No matter how hard it is, reach out, ask, talk. You know, there's so many people within our community to help, like, carry you when you can't carry yourself anymore. And that's the reality of why we created She Rises, why we kept saying collaboration over competition, collaboration. You know, it matters. That's why we created the movement the way that we did and brought in the women we did, because we knew it wasn't something that we could do by ourselves. You need an army of incredible women to share the vision with, and for them to share it with their people, and so on and so on. And that becomes a movement. We're changing, I believe truly, in the last 2 years, all the women involved are truly making history. It has to be. I just can't see it being any other way. And being a platform for women, creating the space has been one of the most incredible blessings I've ever received. So my title's called Impact for Change, Influence for Change. And that's what I want to see this year. I want to see more women come out and share their voice. I want to see those who want to be business owners step into that. We're here to support you. For those women who are overcoming trauma, we're here for you too. She Rises has always been about life and business. The women in the community have always been about life and business. Do we all get along all the time? Nope. But we're a big family. We might be a bunch of nuts, but we just fit, you know, the nuts and bolts, the screws, they all fit together, and it works because we link up, you know. So this book being the last one, it shows me two things. One, I can breathe. And number two, it just really brought hundreds and thousands of women together across the world, because the reach isn't just in the States. This reach is we've reached almost 20 countries since we began this. We're opening new divisions. And I'll let Nicole, I'll let Heather, maybe they want to share it today, maybe it's for another day. But the collaboration is a real thing. And that's what we hope to see happen, is more influence on collaboration, more influence on how to be kind, more influence on how to help others, how to pay it forward. Like, all those things matter, you know. So thank you again, ladies, for just really believing in us and sharing your journey with us. Like, we're going to be forever grateful. And I can't wait till you all sign books. Like, when you actually hold your book in your hand and someone says, "Can you sign my book?" I want to read what you're like. It's a moment that you'll never forget. It really is. So I don't know if anyone else wants to share, talk. We still got some time, but yes.
Hannah, I want to thank you for sharing so authentically and from your heart. As I had mentioned, I'm a neuroencoding specialist, and what you said about choice is where it begins. The choices we make today will drive our tomorrows. And it all starts with how we think about ourselves. In my chapter, I mentioned that I grew up in a very violent and abusive environment. And that was my first arena of influence. I became the influencer of that. And I made a choice each and every day of what I was going to do with how I thought about myself and what I was going to do with all that. And I was taught to be seen and not heard. You're to be seen and not heard. It was back in the 60s. I'm that old. And you know, I grew up with that philosophy because there was so much abuse and violence. They didn't want that to get out. But then I found that, you know, it did get out, and then I was marginalized for it. And again, had a choice. Like you said, we have these choices that we make on what we're going to do and how we're going to drive our lives. And so your story, I believe, is one of many that we find, I think, in women's lives all the time, just like mine. And it's all about how we think about ourselves, how we think about our circumstances, and how we think about others that are involved in those circumstances. And when we can make the choice that I can do better than this because I am better than this, I think that's what takes us to those tomorrows. So thank you for sharing from your heart. And I'm really excited to be in company with these women.
Me too. We have some pretty phenomenal women that I get, you know, it's just an extraordinary feeling when you get to work with so many women that just have the love and the passion to want to pay it forward. You know, I say when you're blessed with all the gifts and talents that each one of you are blessed with, why would you keep it in? Like, you just let it out, you know, so that other people can receive that goodness and all of that. It's just, you know, that's why we're here, is to share all of that. So anybody else want to share?
I love that Stella brought up the choice, that you brought it up, and that you don't have to keep it in, to share. Because if you had told me, I don't know, 3 years ago, oh, you're going to have a podcast, you're going to write in these books, you're going to do these things, I'd be like, you're crazy. So, you know, it was really making the choice, you know, like Stella said, to be heard, right? So we all can be good sometimes about being seen and getting busy and working within our business and doing our stuff, but really taking it to that next level, which isn't something I started doing till 2020, when the pandemic hit and said, oh, guess what? You don't get to do work across the table. You've got to move to Zoom land, right? Samantha's shaking her head because we're in a similar industry, aren't we? And so she knows exactly what that meant. Is here you had built this scene, and a lot of us had to change and adapt, right? And I had to even hire a coach. I'm like, what do I do with all of this social media stuff that now I have to walk in to survive this crazy pandemic, right? So you know, and then just doing a couple key things, like Stella said, making the choice. What is going to be my choice today? How am I going to adapt to the situation to overcome what is uncontrollable in my life, right? How am I going to take control again? And, you know, just doing a few key things and then going from nothing, literally no social media, and just by putting out what I knew needed to be heard, I went to like over 5,000 in like 3 months. I don't even know how it happened. Like I just kept showing up and I'm like, where are these people? Okay. Let's just keep going with this. And then, you know, figuring out LinkedIn and then figuring out all these different things and then becoming friends with Hannah. And I were friends on social media randomly. Like I don't even know how we became friends on social media. But we did, and she kept putting all these positive things, and I'd be like, oh, I really like what she's saying. And then I would put out stuff, and she would like what I was saying, and we were just liking each other's stuff. And then all of a sudden, she contacted me, and she's like, be in this book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. And I'm like, a book? Okay. I'm doing all this other stuff over here. I'm going to write a book. Never thought I'd write a book. Okay, sure. I'll try anything once. Let's give this a whirl, right? But just being open, you know, to those opportunities and not blocking yourself off, right? Because we do each have our own gifts, right? And if we're not willing to share those gifts, and no day is perfect, like Hannah said, it's not perfect. Random things will happen. They happen to all of us, right?
It's almost comedy. We're gonna have to do a day at She Rises where we can let all the women come in and see what it looks like to work on the team. That'd be hilarious.
It's like herding cats and juggling fireballs. It's
And then you can see all my facial expressions.
You see,
Nicole's house herding chickens.
That sounds awesome. I'll stalk you for a day. I'd be in on that.
Yeah, me too.
Organized chaos, right? As we say, organized chaos.
You see Nicole like this about 20 times a day, and Heather's like this.
And Nicole thought, I'm going to get glasses. Maybe that's what my headache's from. I need to do that. We hope that helps. We don't know.
It's how you two became a part of the team is a whole story in itself.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny. I love my team. They're like my second family. So like I feel like we can read each other now, and you know, and then like the more time we spend with each of you ladies, we're pretty good at reading the room or I don't know. It just, you know, it's just funny how it's grown tremendously. But I'm forever grateful to everyone who's come with us, because I just get to see the pay it forwards all day long. Like it's crazy what you get to witness. But your story, Heather, I feel like you have a whole story. So does Nicole. You know, like you have kids who are watching you influence.
That's the life.
Yeah. And so many of us do. You know, we have kids, grandkids who are watching this, who see what we're doing and they want to do it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool to watch that. And you don't even realize sometimes how much your kids are really watching you. You know, like it's like Sophia's writing a book right now at school. And she's like, I already have the title. She wants to call it Forever Family. And I said, are you going to talk about how crazy our family is? And she goes, yep. You know, but it's like something that she never really thought to do before. You know, like I even overheard her telling somebody, my mommy's famous. And I was like, oh, no, we're not. Mommy's not. Mommy just writes books. That's it. I'm not famous. But
you're on your way. Don't undermine it.
Never say just. You write books. You're getting your message out there.
Yeah. She's excited, and that was a moment, honestly, that made me smile, because she watches. So think about all our kids who are watching, our grandkids, our nieces, nephews, you know, like Think about all the influence you're doing on a daily, the goodness that happens because of things like this, you know. It's just incredible. But I want to say thank you, because to all of you who showed up today, at this very moment, 5 a.m. somewhere in the world, and for others earlier or later, you took the time to show up and be a part of your own book launch, which is extraordinary. And so I want to make sure that we send you a special gift and honor you for being here today with us. There's 24 women in this book, and we had 10 in total show up. And some of us came in pajamas and beanies, and others came dressed to the nines, but we showed up and we did it. So we're going to send you something special for being with us today. And just congratulations, ladies, to each one of you for this, because you're about to become international and national bestsellers. I know it's going to happen today. So I have a feeling we're going to be back on here sometime today saying, guess what, guys and gals, we did it. So yeah, I'm just excited for all of you and our readers. That's what excites me most, is when readers get their hands on this and they're like, wow, I can do that. I can do that. I want to do that.
Exactly.
You know, leading by example, like Nicole will be launching, I'm just going to say it. Nicole will be launching the leadership division of She Rises Studios. And that's like a whole, I don't even know where to start. Heather will be leading a new division for She Rises under finance. And those are collaborations. You know, we have some other collaborations and divisions that are being created as well as we speak. And the moral of the story is, it's because we want to influence and impact for good. So if you have an idea and you want to collaborate, let us know. But yep. So get the book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Influencer. It is all across Amazon, 13 countries, 13 links. You can gift the book. We always gift hundreds of books to women organizations. You know, so congratulations, ladies, to all of you. And special love for you coming on today at such an early time. And it's just great to see all your beautiful faces. And for those who came on to watch and support, we appreciate you too and love you too, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be where we are. So thank you. Woo-hoo! Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
It's been a
everyone.
pleasure.
Thanks, Anna.